two guys, like that adds to my game experience. But I guess there's a reason why the ESRB says your online experience may change, or your gameplay experience may change when you are online. So we got world famous.
I just want to say about this whole topic, and even when I first heard about it, who the fuck cares? This is like society. This is the internet. This shit's been around forever. It's just the same thing as like violence in video games. Yeah, there was violence. Music caused violence before, and then now it's video games. It's just people are using video games as an excuse because video games are hot right now. And Nietzsche dismissing the whole South like that, you're an asshole. I mean, there's just as many fucking racists in New York and Boston in the North as there are in the South. So, don't come in here and say it's only Southern people.
Well, I don't think he was saying. I think in his experience, dude. In his experience, you got to take it from the perspective where it came from.
I would just add on to the comment that, I understand that it is the internet. I understand that is the dark side of what we deal with. But people need to understand that at what point does it really become damaging on everyone? I mean. At the end of the day, I don't really care what I hear, but I now play games with a 2-year-old in the room. My voice chat comes over through the speakers. It's not okay for me. It's not okay for some guy to be dropping N-bombs when my kid is, that's not okay, okay? And then taking it one step further, it's also not okay to have 10-year-olds subject to that. It's not okay to have 8-year-olds. It's not okay to have 20-year-olds subject to that.
I agree. I agree.
So, okay.
But there are blocks in place by Microsoft to where you can leave negative feedback and report people.
What kind of fucking blocks are in place by Microsoft that are actually going to get some guy? Do you think that if a guy comes on spouting racial slurs,
well, if the majority
that he really
have problems
gives two
with it,
fucks about his reputation rating on Xbox Live? Of course he fucking doesn't.
Well, if it was such a huge problem among people that play on Xbox Live, wouldn't they all just report, a ton of people just report bad people all the time, and then something would be done?
Let me ask you, would you really report someone?
I did all the time when I played on Xbox Live. If someone was acting like an asshat and dropping the N-word every 5 seconds,
how many times
I fucking
do you
reported
think it made a difference?
I don't know, but
Never?
I did it. I don't know. How am I supposed to know? I don't know their
guy
system.
That ever wasted time.
I don't know their system. How am I supposed to know? Do you know how their system works?
You just told me that they had blocks.
Do you know that they
don't?
Do you know that they don't block people if they get a certain amount of negative respect?
I know that the epidemic is only fucking growing and
because
not getting
it's
any
the fucking
smaller.
It's society and the internet in general. It has nothing to do with gaming whatsoever.
When I leave my home, I don't hear
because they aren't behind a keyboard and acting like a tough guy. This is the fucking internet. You know that as well as anybody. Ever since the fucking CompuServe days, there's people on there going fag and I'm fucking hot shit and I'm a hot chick, but I'm really a fat dude behind a computer. I mean, like, this stuff's been going on forever.
Yeah, so we should
it's
just
not that it's okay.
We should just accept it.
I'm not saying
it's
accept it.
Forever.
I'm not saying accept it, but I just think that it's just a larger picture.
I don't really disagree that it's a larger arm of the internet just being a fucking collective bunch of assholes.
Exactly, but it's unfair for major news stream media to portray this as video games' fault and that Xbox the game is to blame. No, it's just fucking society.
But
That's
it is video game,
Dude, would you want your kid to be talking like that? I'm sorry, caller, but just hold on a second.
Yeah, 1 second, caller.
No, my kid wouldn't be talking like that because I'm not an idiot.
Okay,
there's idiots raising idiots.
An 8-year-old kid is probably not going to find 4chan, right? An 8-year-old kid is not just going to fucking find 4chan, okay? But connecting to Halo 3 for an 8-year-old kid, that's as easy as putting a fucking disc into a game and pressing the button.
But there are parental blocks you can put in place, correct? Are there not parental blocks you can put in place to play certain games or play online?
The one legitimate thing about that article or about that news report we saw was the parents' obviously lack of knowledge in how you would try.
If you're a good parent, sit down with your kid while he plays. Why don't you play with him? Why don't you play the game with him and find out for yourself?
That report was actually significant because parents don't fucking know.
They don't know, dude. They just the kid plays the thing.
But they're blaming the game itself rather than just society and the and the technology. They're blaming video games.
I think there's nothing wrong with blaming society, to be clear.
No, there's nothing wrong with blaming society. I didn't say that. I said they're blaming video games. Much like they would blame video games for violence.
Caller, what do you think, Caller?
Caller, what's
and
up?
Nietzsche's asked hard
But
for talking shit about the South.
Yeah.
what I think is
Virginia.
the internet just gives everybody a voice, and so most people seem to think that they can just fucking be retards on it.
And it's like, okay, so I mean, what are your thoughts on it? Like, does this, do you hop in on the action? Do you wish that these people would die in a fire? Like, what is your take on it?
Well, I just typically mute them on the system.
So the mute key is your friend, basically.
Exactly.
All right. Well, hey, sorry to have you wait for so long, caller.
No problem.
All right, take care. So, we could probably continue to, go back and forth on this. Yeah, we do have another caller. We might be beating this like a dead horse. But anyway, caller, you got an opinion on this?
Yeah, I'm 16.
Okay.
And I grew up playing video games. I've been playing since I was 8. I've been playing Counter-Strike, all that shit online. And I've never gone off like that. I don't know where Nietzsche came off saying that. I play with Nietzsche. I'm actually pretty good friends, if you will, with Brian, and I don't know where he got off saying 14-year-old and all that shit, because when I was 14 and when I was 12 and when I was 10 playing video games, I didn't go off like that, and I've seen it change now. When I play, I see 12-year-olds screaming and saying
shit. So it is getting worse
every 2 seconds. It's getting worse because when I played and when my brother played, when everybody, my family, my age that played, we never did that.
How old are you, really quick?
16.
I'm 16, and this was 4 years ago, and it surprises me that it's changed so much.
You think it's Halo's fault?
Halo
has
it's everything's fault. It's Counter-Strike's fault. I mean, no. All right, I'm not going to blame the game. I can't hear you.
I will. I'll blame it. I said it's Halo's fault. No, I'm just. Did you piece him?
No, he's still here.
Oh, okay.
I can't hear you.
What I was gonna say is that I feel like this is aggregating more hate, more racism, more slurs, more etc. Because just like you said, and I even said it when Nietzsche called, I find it hard to believe that 14-year-olds are just sitting around and that it's okay, or at least they believe that it's okay in their minds to just talk that way or whatever. And having you call up and say, I've noticed it get worse with the younger crowd, I think that's pretty significant, and again, it comes down to the parents really not doing anything about it, or not knowing that they need to do anything about it. So obviously not trying to crash the party for anyone, but I have two reasons for it. A, because I don't want my kid to be around that shit, and B, I just want to have an enjoyable play experience, and I paid $60 not to have some asshat yell into my ear for 30 minutes while I'm trying to frag a bunch of fucking newbies. It's not so much to ask, I think.
New caller, what's up?
New caller, what's up?
What's going on, guys?
Yo.
Hello?
Yo.
I remember the first time I went to my cousin's house and he showed me SOCOM and I played online and I put on that headset and the first words I ever heard was some guy screaming out white power. That was when I was 14, 13 years old. And then just starting on with Xbox Live with Rainbow Six, 3 and Halo, it's just gotten worse and worse. I don't partake in that stuff. But it's just the veil of anonymity, whatever, being anonymous and then having an audience to just talk trash. They can just do whatever they want. You get prank callers all the time. They don't walk up to you or walk into your booth and just start shit. It just doesn't work
right,
like
but they'll make a call over Skype. And you make a good point. And I think that we're going to find almost a split between gamers. Guys like you and me who is just I'll just mute all this shit. I'll just turn the voice off.